In this lesson, we'll add some armbands to our scientist character. So we want to add these kind of black bands right on this side of our elbow. So let's go ahead and look at how we can do that. I'll take our geometry for the arm, and the first thing that we want to do is add resolution at those points where that armband is going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off our smooth here, and let's take a look at that. And so it looks like it's going to be right on this side. I'm going to go ahead and take these vertices and kind of move these over a little bit. Let's actually move them to this side, and then we'll take these edges and let's do connect. Let's add one segment, and let's slide it over to that side of the armband. Say OK to that. So you can see we've now got kind of one on each side of that. So now we just need to grab this section of polygons. Alright, and let's go ahead and bevel those to create the kind of the inset, because this band is going to be a bit tighter, and then the coat is going to kind of billow out a little bit against it. So we'll go ahead and bevel this. Let's go by local normal. Okay, let's give it kind of a low height, so just something like that. Okay, maybe a little bit higher. And then the outline amount we want to be fairly low also, so you get something along these lines. Okay, we now want to use this geometry to actually create the band itself. So we wanted to detach this. So let's go to Edit Geometry, and we'll do Detach, but we don't want to actually disconnect it. We want to create a clone. So we want to detach as clone, and we'll go ahead and detach that. And that gives us a separate piece. Right there, you can kind of see it. Now we want to also make sure that we put some detail here where this coat comes into this. We want to make sure that you get a nice little billow right there where that's kind of bunched up against there. So to do that, I want to make sure I add an edge right across here. So I'll go to Edit Edges, Connect, and slide that. Let's see, we'll slide it down this way, slide it down here. Say OK to that. Okay, and we can take this edge loop and just kind of scale it up a little. And let's go ahead and do the same thing over here. Let's select the ring, and then we'll do connect and add an edge right across here. Say OK to that. Now let's select this loop and scale it up just a little. And that'll give you a little bit more of that ring. Now I also want to add maybe an edge loop right inside here, a couple of edge loops right inside here. So let's go ahead and select this jacket, and I'll hit Alt Q to isolate. So we get rid of that band, and I want to add just a couple right in here to make it nice and tight. So I'll take this ring and do connect, and this time I'll use two segments with no slide, but I'll use pinch to kind of pull that out. Okay, so that's nice and tight there. And you can check that when you smooth it, and you get something like that. You can kind of mess that up a little bit by taking a couple of these points and moving them out a little. Okay, so it looks, get something like that. So now we just need to add the band itself. So go ahead and exit isolation mode, and here is the band that we've got. So we need to add some thickness to this. So to do that, we need to add a shell modifier. So go ahead and add a shell modifier to that. And right now we've got a little bit of an outer amount there, so we can kind of dial that down. Maybe give it a little bit of an inner amount till it penetrates into the arm. Okay, but maybe we don't want it to be quite so thick. Keep in mind it'll lose a little bit of volume when we smooth it. So let's go ahead and give it a couple of segments here. Keep it nice and tight. And then we'll collapse that. Yes. Convert that to an editable poly. And then we'll take these edges right on the outside, select the ring, and then to tighten those edges up when we smooth it, we'll do connect with two segments and then pull those out right along there. So now when we take this and smooth it, you can see we get something like that. So that can be our band. And I could take this and maybe add our black, and then you get the nice band that you've for the to hold his shirt in there. And you can maybe, if you want to pull this geometry up a little bit closer to this, you can kind of overlap it a little, maybe look a little bit better. So pull some of these points, maybe not all of them, but maybe a few of these you pull, and so they kind of almost overlap this band that we've got here. And just kind of pull that out. Okay, and so this is detail that we want to be on both sides. So now that we've got this, when we mirror this across, we can actually, create the same detail over on the other side. All right. Okay, so now that we've got the armband modeled in, let's go ahead and now move on to the lapel of our scientist jacket. So we'll go ahead and do that in the next lesson.